Hey, good TGIF morning to you guys. It is I think, the 29th. So it's the last Friday. It's Good Friday, which means we got to take time out later on and think around the 2 o'clock time frame for silence, if you understand where I'm coming from. But good TGIF, Good Friday to all of you on this last Friday in March 2013. It is about 7:33 a.m. And I was thinking about this. I was going to talk about this last night, but I just decided not to. Decided to rest, But I wanted to talk about this because it was going through my mind a little bit. Back when this whole situation started with Ian Flynn, with him doing Genesis, and then the whole situation with Sally becoming Mecha Sally and being modified and weaponized, and then the announcement of the crossover with Mega Man and Sonic, and then the solicits and the cover previews. When I thought about all that last night, I remember that Ian Flynn said something to us that kind of stuck in my mind. I'm sure stuck in the minds of many fans. He said that Sega had given him the nod to do something that even he was surprised they would let him do. Now, at first, a lot of people assumed that what Sega was allowing him to do was roboticize and weaponize Sally and even come up with the redesigns, which is still a strong case, which would still be a strong case, if you will. But the more I think about it, the more I come to realize that perhaps that's not just the only thing. That perhaps that's not the real thing that shocked him. I mean, I'm pretty sure he realized Sega would be okay with the Sally situation. Now, hold your rage after hearing that. But I'm pretty sure he knew that they'd be okay with that, seeing as though she's not a official, seeing as though she is an official character, but not an official game character, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I got to thinking, what if the thing that really surprised him was when he came up with the idea that during the crossover between Sonic and Mega Man, that the characters of Tails, Amy, Knuckles, and Shadow became roboticized, but in a way that was not just, paying homage to the robotization in Sonic, but also was paying homage to the robot masters of Mega Man. Makes me wonder if perhaps that was the okay by Sega that shocked him. Because you got to think about it this way. We all pretty much knew. Now, some of us were trying to go like, nah, they're not going to do it. They're game characters. No way Sega would be okay with it. But now that we know it is them, it makes you wonder. Because essentially what this crossover is doing on a temporary basis is altered the character's design. It's given them new names, even though it's just for the crossover. But it makes you wonder, it makes you think. Because, now let's be honest, yes. In the past, Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails have all been roboticized. Sonic twice, Tails once, Knuckles once. But never Amy or Shadow. And never all at the same time in the sense that we have right now with the crossover. So, so it makes me wonder, and I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, but it makes me curious and wonder if this was perhaps the thumbs up, the okay that Sega gave Ian to do. Because think about it. Nowadays, the way people look at a company like Sega and how Sega kind of holds the characters dear, if you know what I mean, you would not think that they would allow this to happen. You would think that a company like them would say no, would tell someone like Ian Flynn, no, you're not going to roboticize these characters. And what, you want to turn them into roboticized robot masters? Oh, you want to roboticize them so they look like robot in this way that they look like the robot masters of Mega Man? No, we're not going to allow you to do that. No, it's not going to happen. But yet, it has happened, so it makes you wonder that along with what's happened with Sally, if perhaps this too was okayed by Sega. And this was the one that really surprised him. Because if it is, again, it goes back to the fact, whether you want to believe it or not, like I said in the previous audio video, that, which is in 2 parts, and you can check that out, that perhaps this helps balance out what happened with Sally. Because like I said, like I said in that 2-part video, when you take a look at the crossover and you look at it from an individual issue way, looking at it from the way of an individual issue, like one issue at a time, and one issue a month, I should say, that it does kind of span the length almost as long as Sally has. So again, it makes you wonder. Now, I'd be really surprised if they also gave him some added additions, like have them turn into vehicles or something like that, or combine, but I don't think that's going to happen. But still makes you question and wonder if perhaps this was the thumbs up, the okay that Sega gave Ian, that he said surprised him. Because if it is, folks, if it is, whether we like it or not, we got to give a hand to Sega for allowing that to happen. Because again, nowadays, you would not see that happen. You wouldn't. You know, you wouldn't see it happen to characters that are maintained in the games. You wouldn't see it happen. So again, it makes you wonder. It makes you think, did Sega, is this what Ian was talking about when he first started announcing what was coming down the pipeline over a year or so ago, and saying that the one thing that was going to happen was the one thing that shocked him that Sega was okay with? It makes you have to think that perhaps this was it. This could have been it, because, I mean, let's face it. Let's be honest. None of us would have seen it coming. I mean, when you take a look at the cover previews, you think, they're just robot masters based on their designs, right? Wrong. It's actually them. You know, again, so it makes you kind of curious. It makes you wonder why. It's like, it makes you wonder, you know, if this was it. I mean, I can understand that the reason they did it is because perhaps because of this partnership with Capcom for this crossover to occur, that Capcom may need some kind of compensation, or might need something in return, I should say, for allowing this crossover and their character, if you will, to do what he's doing. You know, so it makes you wonder if they're getting some kind of compensation, or whatever it's called, whatever it's aimed, in return by Sega, by having Sega give the okay to Ian and Archie and saying, go ahead and roboticize them, turn them into roboticized robot masters. You know, it makes you wonder, it makes you curious about that, because, you know, again, like I said, nowadays, you look at a company like Sega, and you would think they'd be very reluctant about that. I mean, honestly, I would be if I was in charge. Morning coffee. Well, maybe I wouldn't be too reluctant, but I'd be a little surprised if, you know, a company like Sega gave me the okay. But you got to ask yourselves, was this the shocker? The shocker that Sega agreed to allow Ian to do? I mean, at first we all think it's Sally, which is a shock. But is this the other shocker? Makes you wonder. And of course the question's going to be, how long was it agreed upon that the characters would remain that way? Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder, like, where are they going to be? What issue of either Sonic Universe, or Mega Man are they going to be restored in? Makes you curious about what could happen. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think this was the big shocker that Sega allowed Ian to do? The big, the big thumbs up that Sega gave to Ian to do that even surprised him? Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. Because, again, the more I think about it, I think it's not just the Sally situation. I think it's also this as well. But let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. And take care. God bless. And have a good Friday.